Explain it? No, he told himself. Believe it, nothing more. Mexico is not explained. In Mexico, it is believed, with fury, with passion, with discouragement. Mexico counts with more than 126 million people, 51% women, and 49% men. Every morning, 57 million Mexicans wake up willing to work for a better future. We are one of the world's largest producers of oil, silver, copper, gold, lead, zinc, natural gas, wood, iron, petroleum, among others. All of this because we are the country with the greatest ecological diversity in Latin America and the Caribbean. We have 5 different ecosystems, 9 of the 11 types of habitats, and 51 of the 191 ecoregions that exist on the planet. In addition, we come with 10% of the total population of flora and fauna. But let's start at the beginning, in the year 3000 before Christ, with the birth of the Olmecas, the mother culture that led to the creation of all the other Mesoamerican cultures. Other events mold us as Mexicans, like the Spanish conquest in 1519, that brought us another language, a new religion, miscegenation, but also oppression. Mexicans can bend and be humiliated, but not rajarse. So in 1810, we started the War of Independence. The Porfiriato started in 1876, which led to technological advances and the Mexican Revolution. In 1938, we claimed what was ours in the old expropriation led by Cárdenas. And I had to work hard to serve the country. If not, what have we made the revolution? Not to sit down to contemplate the truth of our ideals, but to work, each on his own. 10 years later, we demonstrated that we were capable of improving the technology sector when Camarena created the color TV. Another innovative act happened in the 1953 when women were allowed to vote. Moral reform must involve us all and must do so in a way that we all feel responsible for their success or failure. Old times never disappear completely, and all wounds, even the oldest, still bleed. Besides all of our achievements, not everything was joy, because on October the 2nd, in 1968, the Tlatelolco massacre occurred. Then, in 1985, Mexico found it a heartbreaking way to unify as a society with a natural catastrophe, an earthquake of 8.2 degrees on the Richter scale. Regardless of our dark moments, Mexico proved again that it was on the map by signing the NAFTA in 1994, for which brought a significant change to the Mexican economy. The solitude of the Mexican under the great stone line of the high plateau, still populated by insatiable gods, is diverse from that of the American, lost in an abstract world of machines, fellow citizens, and moral precepts. Because of this, we can learn that if the story of Mexico that is taught is boring, it is not because of the events, which are varied and very interesting, but because those who thought it were not so interesting and presented the past as in justifying the present. All of our past, it was as made as an independent, productive, diverse, and young country. In fact, 35% of Mexico's population is between 9 and 24 years old, which represents the hopes of Mexico. Also, in 2018, 2 million babies were born, and let's remember that. Children are faithful to the life of nations. Where they are awake and cheerful, prosperity is secure, and a spiritual mission is on the rise. Where they are indifferent and sad, it is because the race suffers and decays. We have some issues, of course, to which we need to pay attention, like the 41% of young Mexicans that migrate to another country, or the 700,000 of people who died in 2018. But we also need to see the good things about our country and what we can be. Everything Mexican is sentimentally excellent, although practically useless. And everything foreign, practically good, is sentimentally bad. So, let's get rid of all these stereotypes and comments without sense. Let's show that Mexico is more than tequila. We have more than 26,000 plants. We are more than sombreros. We have at least 10% of the world's coral species. We are not just parties. We have dry forests that are home to 6% of Mexico plants, and 40 of them are endemic. We are more than tacos. Mexico is one of the areas in the world with the largest amount of mangroves. It ranks fourth in the 125 countries that have these ecosystems. We are much more than bad words. We own cloud forests that count with 10% of the species of our country, and with the template forests that extend in 16% of the Mexican territory, we have shown to the world how blessed we are. Mexico is not just the Virgen of Guadalupe, but the 89.3% of the population who are Catholics. We are fortunate to have 17.8% of the population being indigenous, and also the 500,000 people who got married in 2018. With all of this being said, we can agree that we are a warm, passionate, and diverse country. The truth is that the angrier I am with this country, and the further I travel, the more Mexican I feel. Let's change our hypocrite feeling of being proud of our country when we're abroad. Let's show the world that we are proud of being home, by helping each other, by working hard for us and our families. Let's act with the values that our parents show us. Let's study for a better future. Why? Because we owe it to ourselves. It's time to accept each other, and once this happens, let's take Mexico to the next level. Being oneself is always becoming the other person that we are and that we have hiding inside us, more than anything as a promise or possibility of being. Let's remember that a Mexican is something we need to be proud. Mexican is just not a word. It's a unique value, an essence, a family.